You don't want your tree, leading off that way through the whole canvas. It's okay to go that way but bring it back, so that it points into the painting. Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful painting, a vast mountain, a little valley, and some nice foreground elements. It should be fun. If you're looking forward to seeing this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. Now we'll start off today here with a 1-inch brush and some yellow, which I will have to go get some more, because that was the last in that tube, and a little yellow ochre. That looks halfway decent. Let's see what that does. A little red. Now, I've got a little bit of clear gel and white up here on the canvas. You may be wondering, why does it look brown? It's because I didn't clean my brush real well last time. And so, it looks messy. Does it matter? Probably not. Can't worry about it at this point. There. And you guys ask me how I clean my brushes. Oh, I feel sorry for you. There. While I'm thinking about it, here's some paintings that you guys did of the weeping willow tree last week. There were so many. I'm going to try to get some more in toward the end of the video. I've tried to pack as many in as I could possibly do because you guys did such a great job, and I really just enjoyed seeing all of your paintings. I did my best to get them all in. That looks pretty decent. A little more red right along the bottom. Now, using the little 1-inch brush, I'm going to drop in clouds. You could certainly not do this with the 1-inch. You could do this with a filbert or something else, and we very well may. I'm just getting it started here, That sunspot's bigger than I really want it, so I'm cutting it down. It's so much easier to make it big and then just cut it down to whatever size you like, custom sizing. That's pretty cool stuff right there. All right, bring that, because this is red, I can drift it right over the yellow. See, it is a purple, but look how red it is. I don't see much blue in that, which is a very good thing. That right there works, because if you would do something that had a lot of blue in it and you drifted it right over that yellow, yeah, not a fun thing. There, that's pretty. Okay, I can work with that. Maybe as we go down, we'll get a little more. Skinny. Watch what I mean. So you can kind of make them super skinny, and that gives you a little depth and atmosphere. That's good stuff. A little right there. Good. I don't really know how much of the sky is going to show, because we are going to do mountains up in here, but that looks pretty decent. I got my canvas pretty well cut in half with that sky. I'll probably bring that up a little, though, somewhere up in this area. Probably lose a little of that sky. We may even go up to, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Maybe even up in here, because I want a lot of room for my valleys. Probably actually cut that out and just go up there. I don't know. Plenty of room to play around with it. That's what's so fun. We can do just about anything we want to do at this point. We're not locked in just yet. Rarely are you ever locked in, but let me tell you, it becomes more difficult to make changes. So do some pre-planning and figure this sort of stuff out right now, instead of, hours from now when you're trying to finish up the painting. There, that looks really decent. Let's get some blue and red together. And let's go right out here with some of this, because I do want a lot of cool notes in my painting. I don't want it all warm. See, it's not very bright, actually, for a sunset. It's a little more muted, and I did that on purpose to be able to still have greens. I don't want it to just be like nothing but orange in the sky, and so you couldn't really I want to put a lot of greens there. Because if you have a sunset that has those bright orange colors and it's like nothing but that, you can't really use a lot of blue and you can't really use a lot of green. Your greens have to all be gold, you know what I mean? It's very important that you do that. But today, we don't have that. Now, as you can see here, I'm just working on let's make that one taller. Working on some background mountains. These are tree-covered mountains today. I almost think that one, I don't know, do you guys like that poking up? I might leave that poking up, it's hard to say. Not like we're live or anything, I won't be able to hear you. I'm gonna make a choice, but I'm just curious. There. I guess one theory of maybe leaving it would be that's unusual to see in a painting. Just barely see that sliver of the mountain showing through, so maybe it would be good to leave it, because it is unusual. It's not something I would normally do on purpose. There. That's cool. just darker and darker as we come here. Actually, take this and blend it here in the middle. Let me grab just a little more light color. I don't even care what it is as long as it's a little lighter. There we go. Blend this out, get us a little bit of mist going on right there. And I will take this and drop it straight down. Whoa, there we go. Straight down. Make it feel like it's going down into a long ravine down here. That'd be cool. Let's do the same with this one. Now as we're coming forward, it's important to get a lot darker, and then you start shifting your colors, kind of almost a pale gray blue into kind of a purple in the foreground, more from the foreground to the background. And now I'm transitioning into kind of a, almost has a hint of a green to it, very cool for this more shadow side anyways. Just to fill this area right on in. That's pretty nice actually. Good, 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 good. I'll just fill that in. You could use a bigger brush. I don't think I will. This isn't that big of an area, and I'm really not that concerned. You'll see I've got a cliff right here. This is the cliff, so I need to kind of paint around it. I don't want green on my cliff face. It's just one more thing to paint over and make mud with, so we don't want to be doing that. A little sap green is okay as long as you offset it with some red and some blue. We do not want to go sap green bright. Not at least in the background. We may go a little in the foreground. We'll see. We will see. There's just no way to know until you really get there as far as your exact colors. You know, it's pretty easy to say, I want a tree right there, for instance. But it's less easy to say, you know, that's the exact color I want until you get there and you see it on the canvas. I don't even know if it looks correct when it's on the palette. It's not till I put it on the canvas that I really get to make a good decision whether or not I even want to go with it. So there's your quick tip for today. So now I'm just blocking in, I don't know, just some rock action, some foreground action up here. What color am I using? Your guess is as good as mine. But it sure does look good. There's a lot of variations in there, whatever it is. There, that looks pretty decent. I think we can work with that. Yes. All right, now that's not bad. Cool. All right, that's, you know, you could spend all day going with that brush. I do think I'm going to grab maybe a bigger brush and just fill the rest of this in a little more quickly. However, I don't want to lose all these nice subtle things that are happening. Those subtle things, we really want those, you know? What I mean, you know, all those little color changes. But the 1 or 2 inch brush, probably not 2 inch, way too big for this area. 1 inch brush really helps to kind of fill in all those canvas holes that the filbert brush can sometimes not cover real well. I think just because it's got more bristles to work with. You know, what is this, like 5 or 6 filbert brush amount of hair in there, you know what I mean? It's 5 or 6 times the amount of hair. Yeah. All right, we got a lot of work to do on this one. There are so many little bits and pieces that I want to add. And I want to add them all. I want to add all this detail that I've got, you know, in my mind here. Actually, that I should say, that I've got planned out, because I'm not pulling this out of my mind. I always sit down and at least, at the bare minimum, I get myself a drawing. If you take your own reference photos, that's even easier. Figure out what you want to do before you start painting. There. Let's go ahead right here. I need to get some more white, but right here, let's get a nice soft, watch this, you're gonna like this. A nice soft kind of grass color going. All right, this is gonna be really good. It doesn't look like much now, but I like it already. Now I'm gonna paint in a couple of the bigger trees. I left this one just open, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about covering up all of the background. Makes it just a little easier. There's my color. It's not black, it's just all my dark colors mixed together, I guess. That's pretty cool. Maybe a little bump out there. Nice big base to the tree. I like that. I think it's, personally, I think it's cool. Big, really big actually. Quite a lot of impact. Maybe kick it back over here. Good. You don't want your tree, you know, leading off that way through the whole canvas. It's okay to go that way and then, but bring it back, you know, so that it points into the painting. All right, I like that. I think we can work with that right there. And it's kind of hard to say how much room we have for maybe another one right here. Just 1, maybe 2. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Not too big though. Good. We'll be doing some leaves on these trees, of course, so not too many leaves, but some. You see I put in that little rock, just a simple little rock, kind of a cliff back there, not all that big. And then maybe one on this side as well. I already got it started, but let's bring it up. Oh, right across here. We're gonna go right across that light spot. Gotta push it back into the painting that way. Oh, it's pretty. I love it. Next, I'm gonna place in just a little water. There's not a lot, but there's some. Just some. There. That's pretty decent. I don't even know what color I'm using. It's kind of just leftovers. See that? Hey, listen, sometimes leftover color works. You don't always have to mix a new color. And when you do mix a new color, you should definitely be mixing it on top of your old colors, if you can, because it'll help to tie your whole painting together with color. I think we mentioned that. I mention that every once in a while, but it is something you should be doing. Let's grab a little touch of red. Not right there, because I don't want purple. There we go. And maybe a little touch of our ochre. I don't even know. Just trying to get a color that maybe could work for a little shimmery, kind of a yellowy tone right here. Just a little, not a ton. Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Maybe even a little more of our cad yellow, a little red. I don't know. I'm just trying to get something that works, that we could, that matches that we could stick right down in here to represent just the tiniest touch of water coming from back up in here. It could be a waterfall, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Now I'm going to highlight some grass. I just dropped that grass in really quick with a fan brush, but here's the exciting part, is the actual highlighting of it. You see I grabbed a little more white there. That's nice. Mostly just working with one corner of the brush. This is fairly close. There. Let's see, maybe that's kind of the top of that. I don't want to go crazy. Less is more sometimes, depending on the type of effect you're going for. I'm going to say probably less is more for me today. I'm going to go fairly slowly because of that. I don't want to overdo and get it to look too bright. This is very much, kind of supposed to look like just some sun rays coming down and hitting this area, not like illuminating a big field out in the open. It's not really that, you know what I mean? Like a big field would catch a lot of light, but there's a lot of reasons to have shadows. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of opportunities for shadows to happen because of the trees and the rocks and whatnot, and because of the low sun. So there you go. Kind of my thought. That's why I'm going slowly. And I did, just a moment ago, I did blot down this whole area with a couple of shop towels to make it a little easier to highlight. That's why you see it's highlighting so easily. There. That's really, really pretty. There's just enough moisture left here in the paint that you can just, you get a little blending, but not a lot. See this? A little comes off, but it feels really dry, really sticky. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go check out, it was a couple videos ago, a tip video where I showed exactly how to do this side-by-side comparison. That looks really good though. I've got my 1/4 inch flat brush here, and I'm just loading it up with a little tan, just kind of made from muddy colors. That works. All right, let's see what this does for us. I'm going to place this on just right in through here. That's maybe needs to be made a little more red, I don't know. A little bit more of a red tan, just to help make it work with the painting. Oh, that's better. Is it subtle? Yeah, it's definitely subtle, but I like it better. So there you go. This is really exciting. Get some of this good action in here. Oh, that's nice. See that just, here's the way I like to do these little slopey-do things, whatever you would call them, where the soil is eroded. I like to start at the peak of them, or whatever you would call that, the outward point, and then work inward. So get all your outward points in like this, just, because that's your brightest area. And then you can work back and kind of dial it back a little. In fact, that may be too big, speaking of dialing it back. I don't know, it doesn't matter, we'll play with it later, but just kind of sort of get some of this in. It doesn't have to be perfect, not in any way. We are going to do a little bit of water here, not much, just a puddle or two. We'll be doing that in a moment, but just get some of this dirt in here. I like the look of it though, kind of eroded there. That's really pretty. Nice. And then over here, maybe we want come the other way with it. The last thing though that I want this to look like is a path. This is not a path and I don't want it to look like a path, so I'll be double checking that because it wouldn't make any sense to have a path going to the cliff edge. It's not like wrapping around a tree or something. It's like, there it is. So don't make it look like a path. Make it look like a washed out area of drainage, you know, coming off the mountain. There. Yeah, that's pretty. Just little hits. It is a big brush for this, but little hits of detail with the big brush make a big difference, don't they? And then you get out your little brush here in a moment and make it even more detailed, you know, straighten it up a little. There, that's so nice. You can even use it upside down if you want to. Now it's time to place on some highlight to these trees. This is a kind of an important step. It's going to really help us decide how bright to make the rest of this. I think I overdid the grass. Uh-oh. Yes. Because I think I want some more rocks. You know, it's not rocky enough for me. So, there you go. Sometimes you don't paint it in perfectly. So I'm going to go back and add more rocks because I can, and that's what I'd like to do. I think it'll make the painting look better. It will only take a minute or two. There we go. See how this kind of shows you how bright to make it? That's pretty. Of course, you want to use your brush upside down. That's the softest possible way to use it. You'll layer off the most amount of paint with the least amount of mixing, doing it that way. And of course, that's important. You don't want a whole lot of mixing. Let me get a little more highlight going here. There, oh, that's pretty. Just a sparkle of light right on the edge of that trunk. See how that kind of sets it off? Makes it just a little bit nicer. Wow, don't go crazy though. You don't need so much that, you know, this is the only thing you see. We want to look toward that kind of pretty area in the sky, but this is also a feature. There. Now I'm just finishing up here, dropping on some really pretty, it's just soft, really dark purple to act as a shadow. And some of it has a little more blue, some of it doesn't. Just depends on, you know, how much red I throw in. Each time I reload, I change it just a little. In fact, watch this. I got two piles. I got one that's a little more blue and one that's a little more red. And that just helps me to get a better effect, a little more loose effect. The brush here, and it wasn't even from this brush. Ever have that happen? There. That looks pretty decent. Great. A little more blue shadow or purple shadow than normal. Just because it is so much in, you know, it is so much backlit in the shadows here. It's a little more of this than sometimes. Kind of pretty. Otherwise, the alternative is just dark. And dark doesn't really work if it's too big. You know, if it's just a big mass of dark, it's not going to be as nice as dark with dark details in it. And that's what we're doing here, dark details. So we're still kind of painting. You could think of it as even as a highlight, just on the other side. Because that's how much attention to detail I'm giving it, is like a highlight. In fact, I've spent a little more time, I think, working on these shadows, certainly than I did working on that tree trunk there. That looks really good. We don't need a whole lot now. On some of these, maybe you want to do a blue on one side and then red on the other side. See this? And maybe let that be your highlight and be done with it, you know? Because maybe that isn't really catching a whole lot of light. Maybe it's kind of in shadow. Come on now, let me brighten that color up a little. There it is. Is it subtle? Absolutely, but I think it works. There. Now I've got my 3/4 brush and I'm just going to place in a couple of, you're going to like this, a couple of little spots of water. Like, let me grab my palette. That would be useful. It looks nice though. Maybe a little more red? I don't know. I don't know for sure. That's pretty right there. Good. Let's see, not too many of these things, but You know, enough that they're kind of interesting. Nice. And you could certainly do some purple ones if you want to. But I think that really works. Let me try a purple one. Just grab, I've got some purple laying around here. It's got a little blue cast to it. Maybe make it a little brighter. A little bit brighter. There we go. Let's see if this works. Maybe right here. Oh yeah, that's kind of pretty. Nice. That works for the shadow. And then you paint your dirt around it again, and they really fit in the painting. So just make them just a touch bigger than you'd like them to be in the end, as they shrink. There. Now over here we could actually add a little of this purple to, to go around it, just to make them look a little better, more color. Now using a detail brush, I'm going to place on not too many, but a few leaves, not too many. That's pretty important to me, at least. I mean, obviously in your painting you could do something a little different. Actually, while I'm doing this, let me show you the last few paintings from last week. There were so many. They were all so good. This is just as many as I could squish into the video. All right, see that? Not too many. I like going right over that. There's a lot of thick paint there in that trunk, and I'm enjoying that. I like the way that kind of mixes here and gives me some greens without having to actually go get them. But very sparse today. See this? That's the important thing. That looks nice. I can't see, I've got that reflection there. That looks really decent. If you're not a big fan of doing these comma stroke leaves, well, this is the painting for you because there's not that many. You get to do them, but you don't have to do too many. How's that? I just really, really like this background, and I would not for a moment want to overdo it and cover all that beautiful background. It would make me kind of sad. There. That's pretty. Just enough to make it sparkle, being very careful to keep those, the sunset tones going. I mean, this is not a crazy sunset. The blue is just as predominant as the yellow, which is not normal for a sunset painting. Usually the orange is just, oh man, overpowering, and it's so pretty, but that's not what we were doing today. We kind of held back on purpose to get this effect, which I'm enjoying very, very much. There. I hope that all makes a little bit of sense. I don't expect it to make too much sense, because after all, it's me. Now, one of the final things we're going to do is add in just a lot of liner brush stuff. It'll be fairly repetitive. This is just the limbs, but we'll be doing grass as well with the liner brush. It just adds that extra detail, really brings the painting together, makes it feel finished, and it's something that you don't want to skip. It's really just not worth, it's not worth skipping. It makes too much of a difference. So I will probably put a good 20 minutes of just liner brush work here. Just getting all of the little sticks in that I want to, getting all of the grass in, a couple of little flowers, I don't know. You kind of just pick out a section and start going and see where it goes. See what, you feel like you need to add. And then when it starts to look pretty complete, pretty detailed, move on to the next area. It's as simple as that. There. See how that really helps to make this tree look more complete? It makes it look a little better. Just by having a few random limbs. Nothing too crazy, really. Just a few to connect everything together. Make it feel like a tree. Make it feel connected. Just like that. That works. I like it. Maybe not too many down here. All right, well, I think we're done with this one. Remember that if you're interested, you can go to the website to buy the original. Hopefully it's still available. If not, there's several others to choose from there, so definitely check that out. I haven't talked about that in a little while. Other than that, don't forget to check out our DVDs and our brush line. Thanks for watching.